Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Wednesday. Wednesdays ruled by Mercury energy. Today is Wednesday, May 21st, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 8 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. The spirit guidance for today is Lion in the reversal position. So the Lion in the reversal position brings me to a lack of courage. It's like not having enough heart to say something, to do something. But real quick, I like that finally the T-square between Mercury, Saturn, and say Pluto or whatever was happening in Aquarius is over. And I feel like that creates like some kind of ease because leading up to this energy, it felt like a lot when it comes to communication, as you've heard me speak on in the most recent videos. Something about communication felt rough as, you know, we found ourselves often overthinking whatever it is that we're saying. I mean, Mars is in Leo and it's still squaring Mercury and Taurus, but I mean, it's less intense to me opposed to the T-square where it's like Mercury, our mind, was being pulled in multiple directions and being challenged, where at least now it's only being challenged from where Leo is. And I think of Leo, the lion, and this coming out in the reversal position would bring me to say how Mercury is being squared by Mars. And today is Wednesday, ruled by Mercurian energy. So when it comes to say something about today, some of us might find ourselves trying to find the courage to break up out of a cycle because the energies in today adds up and reduced to the number 8 vibration. And the number 8 energy is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn deals with time. And the number 8 energy being ruled by Saturn, I think of the number 8 energy as one that is often focused on, you know, the amount of time that we put into a thing. And just because we've put so much time into a thing doesn't mean that it can't come to an end. And that's something that I struggled with too when it came to me stepping into a new path, where I felt like, damn, I've put 15 years into this industry. Like, do I just leave it behind like that? You know, when I was transitioning out of the beauty industry, it's like I put 15 years into it. I can't just leave it behind like that. And for a while I kept thinking of, well, maybe I'll create this product or maybe I'll do that just to show that my time in the industry wasn't a waste. And it's like, of course my time in the industry wasn't a waste because I've developed as a person so much while I was there. So I think of how sometimes we focus on the wrong things, where it's like, yes, you put a lot of time into a thing and you're walking away from it, but how have this thing add value to your life? How have you as a person grown because of your connection or the time that you spent in this thing? Where it's like, yes, the relationship was stressful, it was toxic, but without it, would you have grown to love yourself the way you do? Would you have been able to become aware of, say, your self-worth issues or the different things going on, you know, with you before the relationship? Would you have been able to, you know, get on your spiritual path where it's like, if you weren't a part of this thing, you know, you wouldn't have been led to here, there, and then look at where you are now. So I feel like sometimes we're so focused on the wrong things. And because we're focused on the wrong things, we're holding on to dear life when it's time to let go. So Mercury and Taurus energy, You know, Taurus deals with comfort. Taurus deals with luxury. Taurus deals with stability. Taurus deals with the things that are familiar. So with Mercury there, like the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 8 vibration, we're stuck on the staple things in society, the things that are familiar. We're stuck on these false sense of stability and false sense of security. And I say everything just about that we think of as secure and stable is false, other than your spiritual relationship with yourself and the creator. Because if we agree that things are always changing, then everything will change. So nothing stays the same forever. So with knowing that, then, you know, that's where we give ourselves permission to move on and have new experiences. And for me, when it comes to this human experience is just that, one where I'm meant to have experiences. And for me, once something isn't fun anymore, it's time for me to go. I feel like, you know, the way how our feelings are meant to help us to, you know, navigate and understand things. I'm not saying that, oh, when things get hard, I'm out. But when it comes to certain things, when they get hard, yeah, you should be out, in the sense that, say you're a part of a friendship or a relationship and things get hard and the other person don't want to work on it. The other person, they are comfortable with staying in a toxic situation, and they're comfortable with staying in a toxic situation as long as it makes them look good. So y'all might look good on paper. Y'all might look good to publicly, you know, being friends with this group, y'all might look good together, but whenever the cameras aren't there or you're not in public, you know, there's no conversations, there's no intimacy, there's no depth. And you might go to them and say, hey, you know, is there anything I can do? Or is there anything that I'm not doing that could, you know, make your experience in this connection better? And they might say everything is fine. And you might say, well, you know, there's certain things that I would like to talk about or whatnot. And they might gaslight you and look at you like, well, everything seems to be fine. Or they might act like, you know, you're making a big deal, wanting to talk about things, wanting to bring attention to certain things. That's a toxic situation, because it's clear that there's a problem and everybody involved don't want to participate in, you know, getting to the root or understand what's happening. So for me, yeah, when it's not fun anymore, I'm out. When it's not fun anymore and everybody involved don't want to come together and make it better, then what is the point? You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to, say, today's energy with the number 8, the day adding up or reducing to the number 8 vibration, and Mercury and Taurus, we'll want to focus on time. We'll want to focus on time and the way things look, or even the false sense of stability or security things bring. Maybe, you know, hey, being together, we're able to split the bills, or they pay all the bills, or whatever the situation may be, even though deep down inside someone is unhappy. And with Mars and Leo speaking to Mercury and Taurus, it's like a person don't have the courage to walk away from a thing, even though deep inside, you know, they might not be happy there. But I look at, say, how Mercury conjunct Uranus and even Sun entering into Gemini is positively speaking to Neptune conjunct Saturn and Pluto in Aquarius. So something about the conversations we're having, radical changes that we want to experience when it comes to our stability, that is speaking positively to, say, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. When I think of the positive conversations that's being made there, I think of how, you know, Saturn, Pisces energy, Neptune energy, it's like we're able to have these dreams within our mind and seeing how we can materialize them. With Pluto and Aquarius, our friendships and connections are transforming, or we're connecting with more like-minded people and gaining the inspiration to see how we can make certain things happen. But then when I go back to, say, Mars and Leo wants to focus on self. And it positively speaking to Venus and Aries supports the need to focus on self. But speaking to Mercury and Taurus instead is distracted on the finer things in life, the comfort. So it's like, I want change, but a part of me is afraid of the change because I'm afraid of losing the perks of what the familiar thing brings. While there's the other side of us seeing how we could work a thing out. So I think it's interesting energy in the sense that everything that I mentioned with the trine happening between Mercury, Uranus, Saturn, Pisces, Neptune, and Pluto, it's like we can see how a thing is possible when it comes to us in relation to others. But if something calls for you to be independent, that's where the issue comes in. I felt like it took me a lot because it felt like I was saying the same thing over and over again, meaning here we got Mercury squaring Mars in Leo, but yet still is speaking beautifully to Saturn and Neptune and Pluto in Aquarius. But when I look at, say, Pluto in Aquarius, Aquarian energy is, us and others. And when it comes to the trine, it works, like I said, when it comes to us thinking about how we could make something happen and we think about other people's role in it. Yeah, we could see how that could work. But when it comes to us betting on ourselves, I feel like that's where the issues will come up today. So anything that you're dealing with or having to make a decision on something today, if you find yourself feeling stressed out or scared, it's because it requires you to be independent in some way. And something about being independent feels scary. When I say independent, you could be a very independent person, but when it comes to taking action, if you're not validated by others around you, that's where you might come off as dependent because you need the validation of others. And I consider myself to be a very independent person, but for years, I would be dependent because I needed to get the validation or permission of certain people in my life. And when I didn't get validation or permission, I would do it anyways, but I would do it scared. And while I'm doing it scared, I would just go through so much stress. Where say if ever I speak to my mom and I say I'm doing something and she validates me and she could see it too, it's almost as if I have this superpower or this cloak that comes over me and I can't do wrong. It's almost as if her words and her agreeing with my decision, as scary as it might be, it's like because she saw it, or maybe it might be, my uncle or my brother, because they saw it. I could trust it. But it's like if I'm going scared on my own, I'm gonna do it, but it's terrifying the whole time. Where it's like if they validate me, I'm bulletproof. Like nothing can stop me. And I feel like when it comes to today's energy, that might be something that is standing out for someone, where it's like, you might be someone very independent, but when it comes to making decisions, you tend to need certain people around you to validate you. You kind of need them to believe in you, because once they believe in you, then you can believe in you. And we have the King of Swords coming out in the upright position. And I like the King of Swords in the upright position because you're cutting through some kind of fluff today. It's like you're finally seeing the truth, or you're accepting some truth when it comes to something. And with the day being the 21st, 2 + 1 is 3. The number 1 is the beginning, the number 2 is nurturing, and the 3 is some tangible outcome when it comes to something. So something is presenting itself today, whether say you've been working on something and today you finally can see a breakthrough, or you finally can see how you're going to be having a breakthrough. Or today you've been signing up for school and today you finally get the letter that you're in. You applied for the job. Today you go and sign all the paperwork because you're in. Something about the day, the 3 within the day being the 21st, 2 + 1 is 3. Something about that energy to me confirms some tangible situation, some tangible outcome pertaining to something. But the energies in the day adding up or reducing to the number 8 vibration deals with some kind of system or cycle. For some people, it might be signing some paperwork, dealing with some legal things. But the number 8 always also deals with systems and cycles. So when I think of the system cycle aspect of the number 8, some of us could find ourselves looping when it comes to certain thoughts and having a hard time making up our mind, because within our mind, we're going over so many different possibilities. Also, too, when it comes to today's energy, some of us could make up our mind that we're going back to school today, or we're going to purchase a course when it comes to something to add value to ourselves. And the King of Swords energy to me brings in some kind of clarity around thought. But the lion did come out in the upright position, and with the lion in the upright position, to me, courage is necessary. And when I say courage is necessary, it brings me to getting to the point where, you no longer need validating by anyone. Because like I've said in past videos, sometimes our loved ones could unknowingly fight against our plans or goals or dreams, because that's just not something they would want for us, because maybe they don't look up to that thing in that way, or maybe they don't see that thing as secure, they don't see that thing as stable, or maybe they, they want to be able to brag to their friends, and that's just not something brag worthy, but it means a lot to you. And they might not realize deep down that's what it is, that thing is not brag worthy, and that thing that you're pursuing will make them look like a failure as a parent. So because of that, they can't support you, but they don't realize that's exactly what it is. But they don't mean to not support you. It's just, it just comes out that they're not supporting you. And it's not until you do the thing and show them that, you made this thing actually work. And it's like from you showing them, then they believe you, then they're proud and they're able to go and brag and tell everybody. But in the beginning, they couldn't see it because, you were trying to look for them to validate you to get to a place that they've never been. And over the years, I've learned that whoever validates me owns me. Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed the pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solar return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. So whoever validates you owns you. Wherever you consistently go for your validation, that person owns you. Pay attention to how sometimes, you might present things in a way for that person to respond to you in a certain way. Or in some people's situation, we go to certain people to validate us, and a lot of our decisions that we make might have a lot to do with wanting their validation, wanting for them to see us in a certain light, wanting for them to be proud of us, and for me, realizing who validates me owns me helped me to take my power back and work on validating myself. What are ways you can start validating yourself moving forward? And a way you can start is by, if you are someone that tends to run things by people before, start running it by your journal. Start running things by your journal unless you have the opportunity to speak to a professional or someone who has achieved the thing that you're after, and you have an opportunity to run it by them, then run it by them. But just to be running things by people who have no experience or no knowledge, it's like you're wasting your energy and doing yourself a disservice. And in some situations, people could unknowingly create unnecessary drama with certain people in their lives, where it's like, I could see situations where someone ran something by someone and in their mind convinced that the loved one hating on them. And in some cases they might really be hating. And in some cases they might be, in their mind giving you the best advice, because for them, they know that if you pursue this path and you do this, this, and this, you're going to have a safe job and you're going to have to be able to pay your bills. So you might go to them trying to, get them to encourage you to go start your bakery or go start your restaurant or go start your childcare business or whatever. And they might encourage you to go be a nurse or go be something that they know is going to pay the bills for sure. So I think of, sometimes we go to people who have no experience in whatever it is that we're trying to do. And then we're shocked as to why they're trying to push us away from it and push us in something else. And like I said, in some cases, people be like, oh, they always hating on me, blah, blah, blah. They're doing the best they can. And in some cases, they might be hating, who knows? But you could stop all of that by starting to run everything by your journal. Run it by your journal, write out the pros and the cons, and then you act. And if when you're acting, you're taking action, you realize that you don't like it, then you bust out your journal again, run the pros and the cons, and make another decision. But make a habit of validating yourself, because whoever validates you owns you. Pleasure sharing this message with you. Before you go anywhere, drop me a pink heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.